All right, guys. End of day's play on day four. We couldn't quite complete the full quota of overs. I think there was just about 63 overs that we saw being bowled today, but still enough for India to impose themselves in this particular test match. And they're now just 8 wickets away from winning this test series 2-0. A series right, Posh, is what India will now aim for. There was some resistance. Let's go step by step in terms of talking what happened in the final session of play. Of course, you first saw India come out to bat. Very clear statement being made there from Team India when they walked out to bat in the second innings. Both the openers took the attack to the West Indies bowlers, and the intention was made very, very clear. Rohit Sharma leading from the front, walking the talk in many ways. You talk about an aggressive brand of cricket many a times, but this Indian side has been questioned at times for not quite walking the talk. Though that happens in another format of the game, but we're here to talk about what happened really over the last couple of hours. So that was that. Rohit Sharma, of course, leading from the front. Yashasvi Jaiswal, 38 runs for him as well. Shubman Gill, and yes, we can spend some time talking about that as well. Shubman Gill hasn't had the best time, let's say, batting at number three for India. 2 wickets to fall in the second innings, and then began the Ishan Kishan show. He was promoted, he was sent up the order, and that in many ways was a clear indication. If the openers hadn't quite made it clear already, in came Ishan Kishan, and he spared no West Indies bowler. He was, a little difficult to begin with, and I think uh, Nikhil too will be joining us very quickly. Yes, let me just add Nikhil as well to the stream. Welcome aboard, Nikhil. Entertained much? Are you?
Not much actually. It was a mixed bag of a session. I actually expected a few more wickets from India,
Okay.
but that wasn't to be. So we've seen the similar sort of doggedness that we saw from West Indies in the first innings. Similar sort of scenario. So yeah, I mean you would have, but overall where the game stands right now, I mean you set them a target of 365. I think what really set India back was also the rain. So it took some time away. I know that the session got extended by almost an hour, but I guess
Mhm.
that rain did set them back a bit. But I guess 365. We were discussing during lunchtime, and I think what we did agree on was the fact that it'll be somewhere between 350 to 370. That seemed to be the figure that we kind of agreed on, and sure enough, 365 is the kind of target that they've given.
Yeah.
I expected a few more wickets, but two is not bad. Two is not bad. You have an entire day to play, unless of course again rain plays spoil sport. But I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. I don't know what the weather forecast is for tomorrow. But India still very well in a comfortable position, poised for making it 2-0.
Absolutely. In fact, just want to elaborate a little more on the doggedness that you just pointed at. It was good to see, again, and it took a certain Ravichandran Ashwin to be brought into the attack because both Mukesh and Siraj, they were trying to attack, they were bowling, stump to stump, but that breakthrough never quite came. There was half a chance of Mukesh Kumar. In fact, Rohit Sharma went ahead and reviewed that call as well because Ishan Kishan was very confident that Brathwaite had nicked it, but Brathwaite survived that particular ball. But it was Ravichandran Ashwin, with his wily bowling, I would say, who trapped the West Indies skipper, and then went ahead and got India the second breakthrough as well. But West Indies still, as Nikhil was saying, they are offering some sort of resistance. They aren't making things absolutely easy for India over here. It could have been 3-4 wickets, given the kind of momentum that India had. But credit to the West Indies for putting in some sort of a fight. I still don't think they have enough juice in them, to perhaps pull off a miracle of sorts tomorrow. But they didn't quite, much like what we saw earlier in the day. At least those floodgates weren't let open by the West Indies in the second innings.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. Let's take a look at both their dismissal. I think Craig Brathwaite, maybe it could have been worse for India. Brathwaite's dismissal, I think it's got more to do with the kind of shot that he played than, some sort of trickery from Ashwin. I understand that he was troubling him, and that may have prompted the shot.
Yeah.
But he plays a sweep against him earlier, and that sweep was good. But tried it a bit more. I think this one wasn't there to be swept, but went for it, scooped one up. So it was more his shot than some sort of trickery from Ashwin. That's Brathwaite's wicket, and again, I think that's what really opened it up, because till that time, the West Indian openers didn't seem like that they're going to give any sort of chance to the Indian team.
Yeah.
The misery could have carried on probably even to the end of the day. So he makes the mistake. The captain makes a mistake, runs out of patience, plays that bad shot. Then comes McKenzie. McKenzie is now the young kid who everyone's talking about, who's supposed to be the new future superstar. Showed some glimpses in the first innings, but I think this one, Ashwin was a bit too good for him. I mean, kept bowling
Yeah.
those loopy deliveries outside the off stump, and then snuck
The,
one in, which
he was
was a quicker one, came
a
straight in,
quicker
hit
one,
him
a
on the
quicker
pads, and
one.
was
Yeah.
plumb. Yeah, yeah, that was plumb. So I think those are the two wickets. I mean, Chandrapal's not looked rushed at all. He's looked very assured. So I mean, there have been a few edges here and there, a few leading edges here and there, but overall he's looked assured. Ashwin did trouble him on a few occasions, but then comes Blackwood. I mean, he's looked like the best batsman, the most fluent batsman so far for West Indies. Some of those shots that he played, a cover drive, and I could hear Ishan Kishan actually on that occasion saying that what a shot. I mean, I don't know if you heard it on the stump cam. And they said, oh, thoda upar dala, maybe a little over pitch.
Yeah.
That's why you got
Just
hit for a four. But he said, ha, upar
pull it
tha.
back a little.
But the
Yeah.
shot was very good. So, yeah, but the shot was really good. So
Let.
he's looked like the
In
best of
fact,
the lot. But,
it
but having
it took
said
us.
all of that, I,
It took a
yeah.
stunning catch, Nikhil. It took a stunning catch from Ajinkya Rahane to dismiss him in the first innings. Let's not forget.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looked good. I agree. He's looked good. He may still trouble you, but as I said, you got 280 odd now still for West Indies to get, with about an entire day's play left. Again, I'm not counting the rain. I don't know how many of the folks that are joining us also see the third result possible. That is a
But
West
let's say,
Indian win.
if Nikhil, if we are to, let's say, and I don't quite see a lot of comments over there hinting at a West Indies win, but if we are to, let's say, just talk about hypothetical situation, and there being a third scenario as well, wherein West Indies, let's say, can just go for that win. But what do West Indies really, given the fact that they've been the second best team over these two matches that we've seen so far, they know, heart of hearts, even they know they've been second best in almost all departments of the game. But 280 runs on a wicket, that's not very challenging. Let's be honest, it's not very challenging. What do West Indies sort of, how do they plan things forward for day five?
Uh, I know that conversation is going to come now, and I see a comment by Ankit Kumar where he says that can West Indies chase the target? He feels that this will go down to the wire, just like the 2006 series. I don't quite see it that way, to be honest. I know it's looking like that right now. Had it been any other series, any other team in this scenario, I probably would have said that yeah, maybe there's a chance. 8 wickets in hand, 260 or
Yeah.
to get. Could they I mean 280 or to get, could they really pull a rabbit out of the hat? Maybe I would have said, but I still feel that it looks like that all it takes is a couple of quick wickets, and then you're staring down the barrel. So if you ask me in terms of percentage, I'd give it no more than 9 odd percent. I mean, single digit percent for West Indies to really pull off a chase, maybe
I
10
was,
at best. I
I think
still
you're still
feel
being
that
generous.
that it is
I
going to
think you're
be a
still being
clear win.
generous, knowing you I was expecting
No,
no more than five.
yeah, maybe I would have said, but yeah, maybe I was a bit generous. I guess you want some sort of a contest. And never say never in cricket. It's happened. It's happened against the Indian team. Indian team is once in a while pulled off a miracle, but I doubt it's going to happen there. I think India also know it. I keep saying that rain could be a factor. And, to be fair, Ashwin's looked a bit dangerous. The only thing that's really worried me overall has been a lack of support. Like Jadeja, for example, needs to really come good. Haven't seen much of him. Uh, then the fast bowlers, Mukesh. I think the problem with Mukesh, and I'm going to speak about all all of these bowlers. I think the lengths that he's hitting here are a bit uh, full. So I think he needs to make that slight adjustment. He's been outstanding in terms of not giving away too many runs, but I think that length about a few inches shorter than what he's bowling could be the one that could really trouble the batsman. I think that's the thing with Mukesh. Otherwise, he's bang on the money. He's also getting the ball to move a bit, even though there's not too much movement around. So that's one thing that Mukesh needs to do per se. Unatkat, and I think that people are going to be talking about him as well. He's
Or
just
not
got
cut,
three
yeah.
overs. It's not also about wickets or how many wickets he takes, but I think the questions are going to be asked about, or at least it shows that probably the skipper doesn't have too much faith in him right now when he's bowling. I don't think, leave aside the wickets. It can happen that a bowler goes wicketless, but the kind of faith that the captain shows in a bowler tells you how effective he is. And I don't see that kind of faith that Rohit Sharma right now has on Unatkat. He's on ground. He can see the ground reality. And I think
I
that's a poor reflection of the kind of form that he's shown.
I just think, Nikhil, because you speak of bowlers, you know every bowler has a trait, and Unadkat, the thing with him is, yes, he can, he can be that bowler who sticks to a certain plan. See, he doesn't have the pace. We know that. When it comes to X factors, really, there isn't, right, like, let's say, a big X factor that Jaydev Unadkat has. What he does have, I think, is variation, which comes into play far more. Let's say in the limited overs format of the game, not quite in test cricket, also on a track which doesn't offer a lot of help to the bowlers. Jaydev Unadkat, I think, has struggled to extract something out of the pitch, which, let's say, with that, hit the deck bowling that Siraj does, he can still get something out of a nothing deck. But Unadkat, if there aren't conducive bowling, if the conditions aren't conducive for bowling, then Jaydev Unadkat, more often than not, you'll see him struggle. And I think this was exactly the case here in Trinidad with him.
Yeah, I reckon. I don't know whether it's my connection and you can't hear me, or it's your connection and I can't hear you well. But I think it seems to be stop go. Maybe our folks who are joining us, our subscribers, could tell us actually where the problem lies. So that's been a bit of an issue. But meanwhile, I just want to take a few comments of folks that are joining us. Harry Fantastico feels that barring India bowling badly or West Indies batting like a miracle, on the third result, morning session will be crucial. India have to make inroads, otherwise it'll be a draw with rain around. And that's good that he adds rain around, because if it plays out the whole distance, then it's not going to be a draw. Then it's either an India win or a West Indies win. Of course, I'd say far greater chances of an India win than a West Indies win at this
But
moment, if you
but
have the entire day's play possible.
But are you, Nikhil, looking at a scenario wherein, of course, we see the two we see the two operate in tandem on most days, which is Ashwin and Jadeja. Do you see that, given that Jadeja has not quite hit the right line? He was too full to begin with, because even I could hear Ishan tell him a couple of times that maybe it's a little full and he should drag the length back a little bit. Do you see a scenario wherein you could have Siraj bowl from one end and Ashwin from the other tomorrow?
Well, I mean, at the moment, these are your two best bowlers. Siraj looked threatening on certain occasions. Ashwin, of course, has picked up two wickets. Those are going to be your two best bowlers. But unlike a spinner, if you had two spinners, you would have an Ashwin and Siraj bowl in tandem. Most spinners do it, but because Siraj being a fast bowler, I think he's already bowled one third of India's over, slightly less than one third. That speaks a lot about the kind of effort that he's put in. Of course, he'll come in fresher tomorrow and probably again bowl a burst, but you'll have to use him in shorter bursts. So it'll be tough for the captain to have him for a long time alongside Ashwin. Ashwin, of course, can bowl for a much longer period of time. But
Yeah.
I think Jadeja will play a much more crucial role going forward. Today wasn't really his day so far as his penetration is concerned. But I think tomorrow it'll be completely different. The ball's going to get older as the game progresses, so he comes into play. Once again, I think it'll be Ashwin and Jadeja that will have to do the bulk of the bowling. That's not to say that they will be the two most successful bowlers. I think Siraj still, and the one good thing I liked about Siraj was that he continued from where he left off last innings. Yes, he may not have too many wickets to show, but
Yeah.
he's understood. It's that stump to stump sort of scramble seam, bowling that he needs to go for. He's continued that. He's come close, but hasn't been really lucky with the wickets.
Hmm. And on this lifeless sort of a deck, I think Nikhil, again Siraj will be the go-to man for Rohit Sharma tomorrow as well. The good thing is
Yeah,
that yeah, the good thing being that he will come fresh tomorrow. He was in action earlier in the day, and then again his services were required later on. His batteries would have recharged, and you expect an energetic and pumped up Siraj to turn up tomorrow.
absolutely. I mean, the break's going to do him a lot of good. As I said, he alongside Jadeja and Ashwin are going to be very crucial. I'm just taking a few more comments. Uh, Sports fan points out 500 wickets for Ash and Jaddu together, maybe in a pair. I'm not too aware of that stat, but he mentions it. If it is, it's quite an achievement. Yes, they have been a bowling pair. Unfortunately, on a lot of occasions, they both haven't been able to bowl together. But imagine if they did. So that's great. Akshay Pratap Singh says that Professor Nikhil, seeing you on a Zoom call, sir, it looks like I'm attending an online class. That's not my intention, but this is just online chat, and you guys are part of that chat, right? We as two sport fans are discussing of what we're seeing now finally become a much better test match from what it was on day three. And it's not a class. You guys aren't students. It's all one group that's just chatting, and that's why we're trying to make it like a two-way communication. Apart from me and Harshit, also trying to take a few comments, but I understand that there's a bit of humor involved in that, and thank you so much for your comments, Akshay. Um,
Yeah, and
Devanka Ghosh
Akshay, I can
says that
only say
Jaddu
that
is.
you can just go ahead and make mental notes, because that's what we guys also do when we with Nikhil at times.
I missed that, Harshit. I think I was losing a connection, so couldn't hear it.
I was just saying that, if Akshay feels that way, that's fine, because we also at times when we're around you, we make mental notes. So maybe he can do that as well.
No, no, no! Don't say that, huh? Don't say that.
Nice.
I
Chalo.
try not to do a class. It's all just in Hindi they say adan pradan of knowledge. That's what we try and do.
Yeah.
Share, learn something, share something, and that's what you do, and that's what cricket conversations are about. And
But
this is what this session is
Nikhil,
all about. That's why we're up
one one
at 4 o'clock in the morning to exchange information, get something from you guys, share something from us, and let's not be fooled that I also or I think I can speak for the group collectively. We also pick up a lot of things from you guys, so that's what the whole intention is.
Yeah, just one quick question, Nikhil, and I think it was pointed out in the comment section as well. And Siddharth and I were talking about it, and we were on the same way. But just want to pick your brains as well. Do you think that this was in some ways a brave declaration also from Rohit Sharma?
I'm losing a connection, Harshit. You're on really bad connection. I hope you're using the office mobile and it's connected to
Yes,
the
yes.
internet.
We. Is it any better now? Is it any better?
Yeah, slightly better, but you keep coming and going. I don't know whether it's my connection or yours. So
Okay, let's give this a try again. Is it audible now? Am I audible to you now?
now it's better now. It seems better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that the one question that that Siddharth and I were talking about earlier when that declaration came in, and this is something that I read in the comments as well a brief while back. There are people out there who feel that this was a rather gutsy and a brave declaration from Rohit Sharma. Would you feel the same, or you thought that this was safe anyway?
It wasn't brave. I mean, you remember we did have a chat during
Yeah.
lunchtime, and I mean, you for one had the opinion at that time. I think India were
Yes.
leading about 260, 280, something like that. You thought that that was good enough.
Yeah.
So if that was a thought, then I don't think we even put a poll out on Sports Today while we were chatting and asked most of our viewers who had joined us as to what they thought would be the ideal scenario. And I think the majority of the votes that we got pick somewhere between 350 to 400. So
400. Yeah.
if yeah, so if that's the thing, that just goes on to show that that was the common thinking, the common philosophy. And if everyone, including us average joes, thought the same thing, then I'm guessing we're on the same page as Rohit. And so it's not really a brave declaration. As I said, it hand was also probably forced by that rain that came down today, cut short a few overs, I guess. So he took that call. But I mean, knowing the way West Indies have been batting in this test match, knowing how much time you would need to dismiss them, I think that was the right way. Also, let's not forget, India can, that way, even if you think it's fair, India can afford to be this adventurous. Firstly, I don't think it's adventurous. I think it's a very run of the mill, very vanilla, straitjacket sort of approach that India had to declare at a much safer total. I think it would have been adventurous had they declared much earlier, but there was no need to do that, I guess. But I mean, it's also where they stand in the series. They've already 1-0 up.
Yeah.
You could afford to do that. It's not gonna cost you much. So
Like I think it was Abhay Pratap who just said that this was Akshay. I think Akshay Pratap Singh says that probably the Indian team has been keeping a watch on what's been happening in the Ashes, and maybe he's also talking about that brave declaration that happened in Edgbaston. But that was not brave. That was probably a little foolhardy, I would say,
no,
from Ben Stokes. There, this was very very safe because see. You got to also take into consideration about the kind of opposition that you're also faced with. You get to know your opposition having played one full test match and let's say another half a test match. So and you've seen these players, at the international, what to expect from whom, and see, miracles can always happen. Agreed. But having said that, you've had the upper hand over this opposition anyway. You've got your own plans. You've got faith in your belief as well. And 370, it's not like 250, 270, which India asked them to chase. 370 runs, that too in the fourth innings, 365. Rather tough task, rather mountainous task for any team. Forget the West Indies, for any team to go ahead and chase that in the fourth innings is a big task. So I think it was very, very safe from Rohit Sharma. No surprises there, at least as far as we are concerned with that declaration. So, not a brave call per se.
okay. Just gonna take a couple more comments before we wind up for the night. There's one from R Prasad, and he says, "This is Prasad from Dubai." He says, "Great commitment from you guys. I never miss any of your shows. India will finish it in 2 sessions tomorrow." So, firstly, thank you for your kind comments, Prasad. Great to have you join us. Much like our entire family that joins us, we're nearing in on a 200,000 mark, and really looking forward to that. So you're part of that. But the second bit where he says India will finish it in 2 sessions tomorrow, I'm on the same page as you. I think it'll be done before tea tomorrow. As I said, all you need is a wicket or two, and it should be done. Uh, Taking another comment from Stevie, who says, "Guys, go and sleep. Cricket is not more important in life," and we understand that. I for one, never advocate, and I tell everyone, forget cricket. Sports not more important than life. But what makes you feel that us going live right now is in any way harming our lives? We still get
Yeah.
8-9 hours of sleep. It's just that we love the sport, so we're up watching it, and so are you guys. So it's not harming your life or mine. I think it's only increasing our life, keeps us happy. Anything that keeps you happy increases your life, does not in any way harm it. So Stevie, don't worry about it. I'm guessing, or we're trying to add few more years to our life.
Yeah, yeah.
Ikpreet Singh says, thank you so much. He loves sports today, and a very good morning. A good morning to you as well, Ikpreet. I think Harshit, we're having a bit of a trouble with me hearing you, and I think you hearing me, and there's a bit of disturbance that I can hear. I don't know where the problem lies, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is, there is.
maybe, but that's a cue for us to wind up. But but thanks for your company, guys. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow in what promises to be the fifth and final day of this series. I hope it's an exciting contest. But as I mentioned, I think the Indian bowler should do it. And even watching Ravichandran, Ashwin, Jadeja, and Siraj, displaying their craft on top of their game should be a sight for all of us to be watching the Test match. We'll be live as usual on Sports Today. It was a busy day with the India A, Pakistan A result, then the Ashes with
The
Australia
Ashes.
retaining the Ashes. A lot happening in Indian sport. So we've put all of it up on Sports Today. If you haven't had the time to get to know what's happened in the world of sport, just check that out. Multiple videos already up. And once again, thank you. Good night or good morning or good evening, whichever part of the country or the world, sorry, you're joining us from. From Harshit and I, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. Take care. Bye bye. See you. And as Siddharth would say, Vanakkam.
Wanna come.